What a... And it caught Concord by surprise. They almost got caught the other time they kicked off. And Dover has seen something in the way Concord defends the run back, and they've been able to exploit it. And Dover setting up for a 2-point conversion here. Backs a split behind Sarek. They are going to go for 2. They give it to Smith, and he stopped. What a big play right there defensively. Dover High went for 2, strangely enough.
Well, to put it out of field goal range, Harvey, that would have given them a 4-point lead.
Yeah, but an extra point would have given them a 4-point lead.
That's true.
That's unbelievable. I don't understand that decision.
And the Farge rolls in.
So the Dover Green Wave will have to be content with the 13-10 lead, but I don't see where. I mean, right now, if you tie it, a kick would mean the field goal could. A Concord High touchdown would have been put Concord ahead anyway in the situation, so I don't understand. Take that 4 points and take the field goal away from Concord.
Well, we've only burned 13 seconds off the clock here in the second half. We got a long way to go, so we'll have to see how it unfolds. But you're right, Harvey, that was kind of an unusual call there. The kickoff return of 73 yards puts Dover out in front by a score of 13-10. Here we go.
All right, the kickoff comes all the way down to a substitute Concord High back in there, and he runs it right out to 37-yard line. Good looking run right there.
Well, they're going to mark him back at the 34. Pick up a 14 yards on the run back. And it'll bring up a 1st and 10 for Concord with 11:40 in the third quarter.
A 73-yard kickoff return by Dover's talented Drake Smith has given the Green Wave the lead here, and now the Tide have the football perhaps a little sooner than they thought they would here in period number 3.
Without question.
They are at the Dover 33-yard line, T formation, straight give, fullback trap. Up the middle goes Mike Mayo to the 40-yard line of Dover. For Concord, 13 for Dover. If you're joining us on the coast tonight, our broadcast down here on a nice night as the Crimson Tide are playing to get into the playoffs. Dover playing for position. They are already into the playoffs. 2nd down and 5. A good 5-yard pickup by Mayo on that last carry. The backs are tight. Donnie Ross gets the carry, middle of the line, and it's going back for a huge loss.
Back to about the original line of scrimmage. And actually, they're going to mark it back to the 36-yard line, which is a little further than the original line of scrimmage.
What a way this half ended, with the controversy over the time expiring too soon, according to the Dover coaching staff, the fans booing, and then the first play from the kickoff, Dover running it back, and the fans cheering. Into the middle line goes Ekstrom, he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. And I don't know if you caught any of the interview with Hugo Bolin. It was noisy here, and you didn't have headsets on, Bruce, but Hugo said Concord can't run the ball against Spalding all night long. They've got to throw it and shake those kids up, or he fears that they won't be able to pull this out.
Yeah, Ryan had no passing yardage at all against Dover in the first half. 0 for 2.
He thinks the opportunities are there, though.
Yep.
Ryan is back to punt at his 24-yard line, and too much time by the Crimson Tide. Or did somebody encroach down there across that line of scrimmage?
Yeah, that seemed like a short amount of time.
It did, didn't it?
Too much time call, but it was a 4th and 9 at their own 25, and it's going to be offside against Dover.
Dover does not give Concord a first down, but it moves the ball over the 40 to about the 41-yard line, and it brings up a 4th and 4 for a first down. Still too deep in Dover territory to give the ball away here. If they didn't convert, they would probably have to still punt here. And McGonigal, the quarterback who is the punter, is back to his 30-yard line now with the 5-yard penalty against Dover. Ball will be snapped from the 40-yard line. It is Dave Velocity in there for Forrestal. Now Concord's running up, and they're going to try a trick play, or they're going to try Dover offside. Dover takes a timeout. Was Concord going to run it, or were they going to let the clock run out to see if Dover went offside? And the Dover linebacker took a timeout. We'll come back to see what Concord's really going to do in this 4th down situation right after this. Stay with us.
You know, high school sports are a source of great interest and pride, not only for the schools involved, but the community present. High school sports help bring a community together, providing a common focus to care about and to cheer for. Now, because of this important role in the lives of our communities, high school sports are about a lot more than winning and losing. They're about working together and growing together. And that's why high school sports are such a tradition in the Capital Region. And the Capital City law firm of Young, Pignatelli, and Oyer, our clients and friends, is pleased to be a part of this tradition by helping to bring these broadcasts to our community. And even more pleased to be part of a community that cares so much for its young people.
Well, we're shifting back and forth.
Concord goes offside.
Oh, my.
Old Young couldn't stand it.
This is still the same play, folks.
Concord was back in punt formation. McGonigal went up to the line to get in shotgun formation. Concord had a long count. Concord shifted back. McGonigal ran back to the 25, and Old Young left tackle said, "Enough is enough. This is worse than violin lessons," and he stepped across the line. Oh, man.
So now it's a 4th and 9 from the 35. This is where we were about 5 minutes ago.
Where's Boris Spassky, the chess player, when you need him? Now McGonigal snap, 25 balls in the air, and Tommy fair catch at the 41-yard line of Dover, and the Green Wave get the ball back and the lead here, 13-10, 9-10 to play. Period number 3 from Dover's Dunaway Field.
We want to mention again that the 2nd annual Pancake Breakfast hosted by the Concord High School Quarterback Club will be held tomorrow morning from 8:30 to 10:30 over at the Concord Boys and Girls Club. And tickets are $2 each, kids 5 and under for free.
Ooh,
so
how
good
about that, folks?
opportunity to get out there.
Get up to the Boys and Girls Club for Pancake Breakfast tomorrow morning.
8:30 to 10:30.
All right, Dover with his hands on the football from the line of scrimmage. Straight in, outside handoff. Smith, line of scrimmage. He's stopped right there. I've got a feeling this game is going to go down to the wire.
Well, there's no reason it won't with the way things have gone so far. A loss of about a half a yard on the play. Back to the 41-yard line. 2nd down and kind of a long count, about 10.5 yards. We'll give them 2nd and 11.
The game has been changed. It has been tied twice, and there have been 2 lead changes. As both teams have come to play football on this final night of the regular season.
And they've made it interesting.
They give to Tommy as he crosses the line of scrimmage right side, 45-50 into Concord territory before he's hauled down by Mike Carroll. Nice carry right there. And the Dover High has its offense in gear. Not quite enough for a first down, but the ball is right at midfield, and they have to get to the Concord 49 for a first down.
Sitting right on the midfield stripe, a pickup of 9 yards on the play.
How often do you see that? One of the stripes is in Concord territory, and the other stripe on the other end of the football is in Dover territory. 3rd and 1 right from midfield. 3 backs behind Cyrek. They give it to a new back in there now, Tim Lindsay. He bucks ahead and keeps his feet going for a first down into Concord High territory. Go the Green Wave.
And the first down for Dover is their 5th of the ball game. I'm sorry, their 7th of the 4th on the ground.
So the Crimson Tide have to get it together defensively right now and stop the Green Wave here. Dover has come out and regained the lead on a 73-yard kickoff return to start the second half. Backs are split now. 2 guys out on the right side flank. Inside handoff. Smith, and he's submarined in the backfield. A low, stunning tackle by Mike Mayo. Did you see how low Mayo got it? He just submarined Smith right to the ground.
That's
Great
right.
hit.
Oh, yeah, pick up, rather a loss on the play. Pick up for the Concord defense, if you will. Back to the 48-yard line. Loss of 5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 15 now as the ball is at their own 48-yard line.
Memorial and West are tied up at Gill Stadium. Both need the victory to get into the playoffs, so that's a big game. Shotgun formation. Cyrek is back. The ball is in the air. The ball is overthrown at the Concord 35-yard line. A leaping catch, or try for the catch by Tommy out there, and slightly overthrown. This kid, Cyrek, can throw the ball a ton.
He sure can. 4 for 6 now, 59 yards on the play, officially. We got that through coaching staff. Brings up a third down now, and they're at their own 48-yard line. The Dover Green Wave with 6:50 left here in the third quarter. 13-10, Dover on top.
Cyrek back in shotgun formation at his 47. He steps back to the 40. He avoids the rush of Thompson, but he can't avoid the rush from the other side as Andy Milliken gets in there and drops Cyrek at the 35-yard line. Thompson chased him out of the pocket, almost had a hit on him, and just as Cyrek turned to get away from Thompson, along came Milliken and nailed him.
Cyrek dropped back at the 37-yard line. That's where he was hit initially. He was actually dropped almost back at the 30-yard line, and Milliken really put a hit on him. And that's a loss of another 11 yards. It brings up a fourth down at 26.
And Cyrek is back to punt from his 20-yard line. High snap. He fields it, gets his foot into the ball. He's shank side. It's dropping at the 49 line, and it's touched by Dover at the 48. And Concord has the football in Dover territory. It's at Dover's 48-yard line.
Well, here's a break that Concord needs in this game. They're going to get breaks here and there, and they've got to take advantage of them when they do get them on both sides of the ball, as depending on who wants to get it.
Cy wrecked that punt attempt, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
And the Crimson Tide go on offense right now. Fogg rolls in on Little Cat Feet. Two callers have called in with Kyle Sandberg, and Gardner Hill is correct. As stated, it was Kyle Sandberg's point. From the 48, the snap, the give, Ekstrom, and he's dropped in the Concord High backfield. And you can begin to see what is unfolding here at Dover's Dunaway Field. Both defenses are really coming up to the forefront and putting on great hits on each other. The defensive play has been outstanding.
Loss of about 3.5 yards on the play. They're back at their own 49-yard line, just inside the 49, and now it brings up the second down and a long 13.
Almost Hugo Bolen said Concor's going to have to put it in the air to win this game, and here's a passing situation right here. 13 yards, second down play. Mayo gets the call, gets the line of scrimmage, goes by the linebackers across the 50 to the 45, the 40, down to the 38-yard line, and close to that first down marker. Let's see where they spot the football.
Along about the 43-yard line, Mayo did a little stutter step that froze the Dover defense, and they were not on him at all. He was able to pick up another 5 or 6 yards on the play, and boy, this is very close to a first down. In fact, we're going to have a measurement right here. And I don't know if he has it, but as I say, it is very, very close. He does have it, a 1st and 10 for Concord.
How many first downs tonight for the Crimson Tide?
That is their 5th of the ball game, all 5 of them coming on the ground.
Their 102nd first down of the year. Quite an average. Ball control.
1st and 10 from the Dover 38.
T formation tight behind McGonigal. Long count by the junior quarterback. The give is to Milligan. He's across the line of scrimmage, and he dances ahead to the 30. And the official, there was an inadvertent whistle on it, and now a late flag, a real late flag.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens here.
And Dover's Chris Clark has his palms up in the air and says, who, me? I mean Greg Clark. He's a 6'3".
Personal foul against the Dover Green Wave.
And it's against Greg Clark, and a real late hit. Almost a sucker punch in the trenches well after the play was over.
We frankly have been told to watch for that. Dover's been known to do that in the past, and they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar right here. And this is a big one. It brings the ball all the way down, Harvey, to the 16-yard line for Concord High. 1st and 10 from the Dover 16.
What we have here, folks, is another ball game like the Portsmouth game. Two teams, their hearts on the line and playing outstanding football and not wanting to lose. It's a great high school event once again. Ekstrom the call, left tackle, and he gets dumped up over it. 360 after the tackle, and he crashes down to the Dunaway turf with about a 1-yard gain. He just got racked at the 15-yard line.
You know, except for the fact that the visiting stands are condemned, this is not a bad facility.
Oh, it's a beautiful high school facility.
Pick up a 2 yards up, down, and 8 yards.
There are a lot of nice facilities, including our own at Memorial Field back there in Concord. Second down, T formation from the 15. The give, Milligan to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone, touchdown! Andy Milligan gives the Crimson Tide the lead for the 3rd time tonight as the Crimson Tide move ahead 16-13. Andy Milligan stutter-stepped and danced and hustled his way 13 yards into the end zone for the touchdown. For Andy, it is his 11th touchdown of the year.
Boy, he's been piling them up, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Wow, he has 427 yards on the ground coming into the night, so he's up near the 500 mark. Mayo is at the 10-yard line. He's the holder. Blossage on the snap, Mayo on the hold, Stum on the kick. The ball is up, and it is good, and Garrett Stum continues his hot foot here, and Concord takes a 17-13 lead. 4:03 left in period 3. I know you're not going to go away, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
The area's family footwear center, Denroy Shoes at 76 North Main Street in downtown Concord, invites you to the locker room. It's the new locker room at Denroy Shoes, and it's chock full of great Nike footwear and Nike clothing. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nikes for men, for women, and for children. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nike gym and book bags, Nike hats, Nike t-shirts, Nike sweats, and cool, comfortable Nike nylon jackets and pants. You'll love the selection, and you'll find the values outstanding. Of course, for athletic footwear, the locker at Denroy Shoes just can't be beat for selection. Men and women can choose a Nike shoe for every athletic activity, from walking to cross-training, from tennis to basketball, running, from force to the Nike Ear. So when it comes to athletic footwear, you look to Nike. And when it comes to Nike, look to the locker room at Denroy Shoes, 76 North Main Street, in the heart of downtown Concord.
Well, Concord tries an onside kick on the ensuing kickoff, Harvey, trying to throw another wrinkle at the Dover Green Wave, but they didn't bite on that one. 4:01 left in the third quarter, 17-13. Concord ahead by 4 big points.
Oh, what a ball game in progress. Several ties, several lead changes now, and Concord High has regained the lead, 17-13. Garrett Stum with a field goal and 2 extra points is accounted for 5 of those points up there. The field goal was a 30-yard drobby. He looks strong. Back to split for Dover now as they put him in the slot. The fake handoff and then the give to the near back, Tommy, and he is thrown for a loss. Oh, what a ball game. Tim Thompson is coming up with you. Remember the young man that was with us during the Spalding game on the radio for about a period in a broadcast position with his heart broken and a sore knee, Bruce. What a game he's playing defensively tonight.
Well, he was able to get some rest and come up with a couple of big there where they needed, and that is a loss of 3 right there. Second down and 13.
The Concord High defense has come alive down here. Backs the split again for Dover. They put Aaron Toof in the slot. It's going to be a pass. It's in the air. It's overthrown, and it's almost intercepted out there. Jane Stafford almost came up with Concord's second interception tonight.
I'll tell you, that was the worst throw by the passing route that he has thrown tonight. And he has been right on the money with these bullet passes that he's been throwing. But that one was just not very well thrown at all and overthrown to boot. Maybe the receiver wasn't where he belonged. But at any rate, the bottom line is they're still at their own 34. This time a 3rd and 13. With 3:09 left in the third quarter.
9 teams out there across the state of New Hampshire rooting for the Crimson Tide to lose to better their chances in the playoffs next week. Concord's trying to break all their hearts right now. Back to passes. Back at the 25-yard line. What has happened to Concord High's line tonight? What a charge. Andy Funk got the initial hit in there. And Tim Thompson once again. And I don't think Jack Gaddy and the boys are going to be able to give one Bad Cat Award. There are several coming. There have to be.
The whole defense may get the Bad Cat Award in this game because they are really fired up. And I'll tell you what, Concord owns Dover right now.
Well, I'll be sure here.
Well, I'm not.
17-13. All right, Sirak back at his 10-yard line. A good snap. This time he gets a better punt, a low spiral. It hits on the ground. Concord's going to get away from it, and it rolls down across the 40. And down to the 30 and puts the rest at the Concord 29. As it was a low spiral, James Stafford, I thought, made a good decision not to field it because he was in traffic. He let it roll, and they let it stop at the 29-yard line.
Dover's going to take over at their own 29-yard line with 2:24 left here in the third quarter of play. 17-13 with the Crimson Tide on top by those 4 big points. And boy, could that prove to be important someplace down the line, Harvey.
All right, key formation for the Tide. They'd like to keep the ball out of Dover's hands right here. 2 minutes to play in the third period. The snap, the give. It's Shane Stafford on the carry across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Make that Andy Milliken on the carry. Terrio on the stop for the Dover Green Wave. 1:52 to play. Period number 3. Concord 17. Dover 13. And a special hello to all our FM fans around the state tonight, tuning into high school football. Come tomorrow night we'll have hockey on the air on FM and baseball on AM.
That's right.
All right, straight running play, and Dover throws Concord for a loss. As Ekstrom on the carry got thrown back before he even could get to the line of scrimmage. A great defensive charge by the Dover Green Wave. Ben Pahopek on the tackle.
Loss of 4 on the play, back to the 29-yard line. Third down and 11 yards for Concord, about 10.5 yards actually. Just down the street, UNH opens up its regular season against ECAC rival, the Vermonts, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock airtime on WKXL.
Third and 11 for the Crimson Tide. Fake into the handoff. Ryan turns the right corner, runs away from traffic. Not going to get a first down, but he gets out of bounds, and he almost got nailed in the backfield. And how he ran away from those two linemen, I'll never know, but he did turn the corner and pick up some sizable yards.
I think that was a sizable run, and I think it was Ryan's size that kept him moving as he was rumbling around that right end, and they got a hold of his shirt, but he just kind of outran him and dragged him along. Now, is there a flag on the play?
There is a flag on the far sideline near that Concord High bench.
Okay, we'll have to see what this one is, as neither team is giving up any ground. They're just standing back where the huddles would be for another line of
they are talking to Dover's captain, though.
Yeah, they are.
Tyler Moore is his name. Isn't that interesting? Tyler Moore, 5'11", 190-pound senior.
Ooh, it's a big penalty.
Clip against the Crimson Tide, and that's going to negate Ryan McGonigle's long run. It wasn't going to be a first down, but it was going to be close, like the length of a football away, and I wouldn't have been surprised to see Jack Gaddy with a big fourth down try right there. But this changes the complexion greatly. The ball is back inside the Dover 20-yard line.
Third and 24.
From the 6th Dover. So that was a tough flip. Third down for the Tide. T formation. Doesn't look like a passing formation. Long count. The fullback trap up the middle. Mayo has a good yardage. Past the linebackers. Gets across the 20, the 25, the 30-yard line. They push it back to the 28 with the spot. Good little run by Mayo to give McGonigle some room to punt that football.
Yeah, pick up at 12 yards on the play. They're still going to be shy of the original line of scrimmage. It brings up about a fourth down and 12, correction.
So Lossage, David heads in at center for Forrestal. McGonigle heads back to about the 15-yard line. It's a good snap. Ryan steps up to the 20, puts it in the air. Pretty good punt. No fair catch. Jason takes it at the 40. He's at the 50. He's at the 40 of Concord. At the 30 of Concord, and he gets tripped up by Ryan McGonigle, a high 30-yard line. A nice run by Jason Tommy of Dover. And Dover High, running back kickoffs and punts tonight, a very big factor in their effort here offensively.
Oh, absolutely. They have one run back at 73 yards on the opening kickoff of the second half, and this one brings them back about 40 yards as we conclude the third quarter of play with 7, so they're going to be able to get this play off.
There is here tonight. We should have told you that. Flag's a dead limp. It's not a factor in the game. And the clock runs out. And after 3 periods of play, Concord High 17, Dover 13. Can Concord hang on and qualify for the tournament next week? Come back and join us for a furious fourth period, I'm sure. We'll be right back.
Friends, they're always there, ready to share your ups and downs, to help lighten life's loads, to talk with and trust. At Horizon Bank, we're your friends, and we care about you. That's why each time you stop in, you'll get a warm smile, friendly greeting, and prompt personal service, because that's what a friend deserves. Whatever your financial needs, see us at Horizon Bank today. While we can't take the place of your best friend, we're behind you all the way, ready to share the load. Together, we're strong. Horizon Bank and Trust, 197 Loudon Road, Concord, member FDIC.
The following is a political announcement.
Hi, my name is Jill LeBrun.
And my name is Jeff LeBrun.
Our dad is running for the Concord School Board in the November 5th election.
Dad has over 20 years' experience as a teacher, coach, guidance counselor, and principal.
He would like to help all Concord kids have the best education possible.
Experience counts. Vote for an education professional.
Vote for Don LeBrun for the Concord School Board.
I'm Don LeBrun. I'd appreciate your consideration on November 5th, and I paid for this ad.
Boy, that'll pay the gas, huh?
Whoa.
Now, where are we meeting?
Do you want an escort back?
Okay, I guess we're back here at Dunaway Field in Dover. 11 and a half minutes left here, and the Dover has the ball down to the Concord 24-yard line.
All right, to the 24 go the Green Wave. Second down and 8. The quarterback on the option. He keeps. He tries to turn the left corner, and he's thrown down at the line of scrimmage. Chris Cyrek, trying to run that option tonight, doesn't seem to have the foot speed that his backs, Tommy Smith and Toof, have. And he hasn't really been able to turn that quarterback option tonight. Craig Clark heads on at an end position for Dover, bringing in the play, a big third down play now.
3rd and 6, and they're down to the 23-yard line.
And we had another Concord winner here in the 50-50 at halftime. So the Concord fans have been hot on the road. We'll give you the details right after this.
Oh, yeah.
This is a big one tonight. Backs are split. And they give it to the second man through, and he's drilled at the line of scrimmage. That's Smith. Great defensive play. Big fourth down play. Right now, the biggest fourth down play of the game for both teams. It's going to be 4th and about 2.5.
Maybe, as we're down to 10 and a half minutes of playing time left here. And Concord with a big 4-point lead. Field goal won't help the Dover Green Wave right here. Maybe that's why they tried the 2-point conversion.
But if they had kicked that 1-point conversion,
up a tie,
it would have been a big factor. Oh, it would have given them the field goal. Would have given them a 1-point lead.
Yeah, 4th and 4.
I don't understand Coach Bushing not going for that one sure point in that situation.
Exactly, 4th and 4 from the 21-yard line for Dover. Center breaks out over the ball.
They are going to go for it. They have a man in the slot on each side. In motion goes Toof. Back to pass is Cyrek. He dances back. He puts it in the air, and he underthrows it at the 15-yard line. And there are no flags down, and I do believe the Crimson Tide are going to take over that football with just under 10 minutes to play here in the final period. And they are hanging on to a 17-13 lead. And it's been a terrific high school ball game. Now about halftime, everybody. And my wife, Betty, she's going to be upset because I really meant it. And I even said to you, I'm going to pick up a ticket tonight. Yes. Donna Marks in the South End neighborhood, 250 last week. It was Ryan McGonigal's stepdad. Tonight, Donna Marks. Isn't that neat? Yep. All right, 1st and 10 for the Tide. T formation from their 20-yard line. Milligan gets the call. Second man through. He turns ahead. He won't come down after the initial hit at the line of scrimmage and got 3 yards for the Crimson Tide. Oh, I wonder if Jerry Mark is here, if he's home listening to our broadcast. Anyway, treats on her tomorrow night. She's taking you out. Your choice for dinner anywhere in town.
I would suspect that's the case. 23-yard line, 2nd down and 7 for the Crimson Tide. To pick up a 3 yards on the play, and 9.5 minutes left here in regulation.
Stafford in at fullback for Mike Mayo. It is a pitch to Stafford. He tries the left corner, gets across, around for about 2 or 3 more yards. The Dover linebackers catch up and drag him down, but it's going to be really close. I mean, folks, we're talking inches here, and it wouldn't surprise me to see the officials call time and get the chains out there to mark this. And I might add, it is an entirely new chain crew on board tonight for Dover.
This, if they make it, would be Concord's 6th first down of the game, 7th rather. And it is going to be shy, but as Harvey by inches.
And I mean really inches. And the ball's at the Dover, Concord's 30, maybe 31, so there are 69 or 70 yards between them and that goal line. And with 9:07 to play, Jack Gaddy's probably going to go for it here. I mean real short. And now the Concord kids are a little tentative coming up to the ball, and they go back to the huddle, and are they going to use a timeout to talk about this? This confusion with the Concord High kids. Now they don't completely huddle up, and they go back to the line of scrimmage again. And it must be close to 30 seconds. They're going to go for it. Look for McGonigal to keep. The backs are split. The ball is snapped. They give it to Mayo. He's across the line of scrimmage, and he makes it. And he's got some running room out to the 40-yard line. He was tripped up at the line of scrimmage. He danced through, kept his feet in traffic, took a lot of hits like in a pinball in a machine, and then rocketed the yard line. Yeah, what a play by Mayo. What a call by the coach.
One of the keys right there also was a spin that Mayo made as he was hit at the line of scrimmage. That allowed him to break free and pick up some more yardage. All the way out to the 42-yard line. They needed 6 inches. They picked up 11 yards on the play, and I have a hunch Jack Gaddy will take that anytime.
Oh, boy. Can Concord control the ball? 8.5 minutes left. They hang on to a 3-point lead. Backs are split for the Crimson Tide. And McGonigal keeps the ball and goes off right tackle. Now, we saw Ryan do that against Spalding, and again against Portsmouth. Rather than the quarterback sneak, just take the ball, couple steps either way, and go off tackle rather than put the halfback off tackle, and he picks up 3 yards.
Yeah, out to the 45-yard line, second down and 7. So you had the right idea with McGonigal keeping the football, but you had it just one play late, Coach.
Well, Mayo did a nice job getting that first down. Tight T formation from the 45-yard line. Mayo has the ball again. Fullback trap out to the 50. It'll bring up another big third down now in short.
Be about third down and 2 yards, and again, here it is. One stripe in Concord territory, one stripe in Dover territory. They are right on the midfield stripe. In fact, just a little bit, so the one stripe is right on the 50-yard line. They're at the 50 anyway,
Mike
line.
Mayo having an awesome game here. Over 450 yards rushing now here in 91. He had 138 yards against Londonderry, and he looks like that here tonight. Third down and 2. Milligan with the call. He's at the line of scrimmage. He dances ahead. He's close to it. The Dover fans are excited because he got pushed back, but he did have some forward progress down there, Bruce.
He did have some. Whether it's enough or not, the guy with the numbers doesn't think so. He's flipped it over to fourth down.
Another big fourth down call by the coach, and you know if he went for it back on the 30, he's going to go for it now from the 49 of Dover.
Absolutely. You know, twice last week against Winnicott, we saw fourth down conversions in that long 18-play drive that Concord had. And here's a fourth down and about a half a yard right here from the Dover.
Both teams right now. The give inside handoff. It's going to be close. Milligan dances ahead and he's thrown back. Listen to the Dover fans. And it's going to come down to the spot of the football because he did have a little burst through the line and then he was thrown back.
And I'd have to say from where they're spotting that football that it is going to be a Concord first down, but they are going to make very, very sure.
I think he's got it, but you're right. They are going to measure. He did have some forward momentum, and the Dover fans right to get excited because Milligan he got up to the line of scrimmage.
Right. In an important game like this.
Here's the measure. First down, Concord. 6:28 to play. Concord leading 17-13 and 2. I'm telling you, 2 critical fourth down plays for conversions here, Bruce. What a gutsy performance.
That's right. 2 critical fourth down plays and a 3rd and 6 inches. Boy, I'll tell you, this has turned into one heck of a football game as we anticipated it being. Concord with a 4-point lead. 6:13 left here in regulation. 17-13, the Tide on top.
All right, from the 48-yard line, Milligan gets the call. He dances ahead. He fumbles, but he hangs back on and picks up 5 yards. Andy lost the ball when he got hit. It actually left his hands, and he reached out on the way down and scooped it back in to his number 44 that adorns the chest on the front of his shirt and hung on. Whoa, was that scary.
I'll tell you, that must be an indication of some sort of divine guidance for the Tide tonight. Pick up a 5 yards on the fumble here down to the 43-yard line, 2nd and 5.
All right, the Tide on a roll down here at the coast. Fumble on the snap, a pile up at the line of scrimmage. I know McGonigal didn't have a chance to get it. And I think Concord retains possession, but they will lose the down.
Yeah, 3rd down, and they're going to spot the ball back at the about the 43.5-yard line. So a loss of about a half a yard on the play. We're still going to call it a 3rd and 5 from the 43.
There was one of the waves that didn't break for the Tide on this roll right here on the coast. And now they have a 3rd and a long 5.5. No semblance of a pass at all in this half. McGonigal, double fake, keeps the ball. Now he goes to the left, puts it in the air. He has a man open. It's caught. No, it's dropped at the 20-yard line. Rob Sawyer had it. And then when he went down to the ground, his 6'6" frame crashed down to this Dover's Dunaway turf so hard that he couldn't hang on. But he had it for a long moment there.
He sure did. Ryan is 0-3 on passing tonight. That's the first pass attempted by Concord here in the second half with under 5 minutes left to go in the game.
Oh, a heartbreaker. Rob Sawyer had it, but he hit the ground so hard that he couldn't retain possession, and Mike Mayo is going to take a timeout. So we'll take a timeout. 4:57, Concord 17, Dover 13. Back with us.
Bobby Young and the staff of Young East Florist at 30 Manchester Street in Concord would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone associated with the Concord High and Bishop Brady football teams the very best of luck during their respective 1991 football seasons. You know, high school sports play a very important role in any successful community. And through the dedicated hard work put in by the staff and members, the Crimson Tide and Green Giant players learned to work together as a team, each member completing their assignment in order to accomplish a common team goal. Now, the teamwork learned by this year's group of young men on the rosters of Bishop Brady will become a lifelong lesson on how to accomplish a common goal through athletics, knowing that how you play the game will become examples of how you go through life long after one has covered the 100 yards on the football field. This message from your florist in Concord, Young East Florist at 30 Manchester Street. And again, good luck to both Concord High and Bishop Brady.
It is great, isn't it? All right, the Crimson Tide. They're back at punt formation, and then the official spots an infraction.
It's going to go 5 yards against the Crimson Tide right here, too, as he pointed right at Ryan as he ran up to the line. Illegal procedure.
Yep.
And it's going to be a 4th down and 10 now for the Tide. We've had some adventures on these 4th down punting situations, haven't we, Harvey?
Unbelievable. Concord's going to punt here, and with 4 minutes and 57 seconds left to go, he's going to have a lot of time, and Chris Cyrek can pass the football. He has demonstrated that beautifully here tonight. So it's going to come down to Concord's defense against Dover's high-powered offense. Concord is trying to pull Dover offside once again as they double shift. It looks like they're going to go for it. Now Ryan goes back to about the 40-yard line. Sorry for the confusion, but that's the way the play is. McGonigal puts his foot in there. Tarmy has it at the 20. Oh, but he shakes it off at the 25. And the flag goes down after the tackle. That's usually an indication of a face mask.
Yeah, we'll have to see right here as Tommy was nailed just after he got the ball.
It's going against Dover.
He fields that ball, as we mentioned, like an outfielder getting ready to make a play at the plate where he runs up on it. And
flip against Dover, Bruce.
That's a big break for Concord right there.
But,
Tommy was nailed initially and shook that one off. He just kind of ducked under it, and it was only a glancing blow.
He said, "You can feather me, but don't tar me." But Concord High hard and feathered him right there.
Yes, indeed. So Dover's backed up now to their own 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Green Wave right there. They have a long way to go with under 5 minutes left to go in the game.
That's a big penalty.
Sure is.
Before to play, the clock continues to run here at Dover's Dunaway Field on a beautiful night in this seacoast town here in New Hampshire. Full house backfield for the Green Wave. It is a pitch. Carmy tries the left corner. He shakes a tackle at the 15, shakes one at the 20, dances up to the 25-yard line. McGonigal missed him and Mayo missed him. It would have thrown him for a loss. And Jason Tarmy, great individual effort when he was pinned back there to get out to about the 25-yard line.
Absolutely, and this is going to be a 1st down.
So they didn't tire and feather him that time, did they?
Well, look at this now. They've moved the down marker up, but they haven't moved the chains yet. There go the chains.
But
okay.
It's a new chain crew. You got to understand, they're breaking in a new chain crew tonight.
I understand
Their
that.
regular one is not here. They were dismissed after their Portsmouth duties.
That's right. Well, the ball out to the 20. Pickup of 11 yards on the play for Tommy after he should have been hit in the backfield. And Dover has its 8th
Listen to the Dover fans now start to get behind the Green Wave. The give to the second back through. He gets the call, 6 yards as he rolls upfield.
It's going to be real close to a 1st down, too. Not quite enough. As they spot the ball out at the 34-yard line. And that brings up 2nd down and 2.
Let's see what the Crimson Tide can do. Dover's in a great shape right here with 2nd and short. They could fake the run and throw a pass right here. Backs a split behind Cyrek. The give. First man through as he dances out to the 39, and it's a Dover 1st down.
It is a Dover 1st down, but the Concord pursuit was able to catch up with the running back right there. It kind of slipped a little bit as it appears to be getting a little bit slick down there, Harvey. But Dover has their 9th 1st down of the game, and 6 of those on the ground. 3 minutes, 22 seconds left here in the game.
Concord needs the win to get into the quarterfinals next weekend. 3 minutes, 16 seconds left. The ball at the Dover 39-yard line for the Green Wave. They give it to Lindsay. Right side, he's up to the 45. And the Dover fans erupt in front of us here.
Down to 3:02 left in the game.
And if you were with us during the Portsmouth game, you know what's going on down here. The hearts are in the throats of all the fans on both sides here of the football. Dover wants to win to finish second and stay away from Pinkerton until the finals.
That's right, and that would end Concord's season right here.
Concord wants to win to have a shot at the state title. From the 45-yard line, 2nd and 4 for the Green Wave. A long count to give to Smith. He's dropped at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4.
2 minutes and 30 seconds straight up left here in the game.
Dover has 2 snaps of the ball, even though they're at their 46-yard line or 44-yard line. A little bit of a loss on the play. They're not going to punt here with 2:19. The clock continues to, as long as Dover keeps it on the ground, valuable seconds are ticking off this Dunaway clock here. 17 for Concord, 13 for Dover. 2 minutes to play from Dunaway Field. 3rd down and a 5 for the Green Wave. The quarterback is back to pass. He's got a man open and he drops the ball. Ryan Demers out at the Concord 45. It wasn't a well-thrown ball by Cyrek, and it brings up the biggest ball of the biggest season for the Crimson Tide right here.
4 for 5 for 59 yards in the first half. The Concord defense has held him. 0 for 4 for 0 in the second half. Under 2 minutes to play. 1:59. 4th and 4 from the Dover 45-yard line.
All right, the defensive backs are going to be tested right here. Stafford, Matty Ekstrom, McGonigal, Carroll, they're going to be tested. They give it to Lindsay, and they fool Concord, and he gets a 1st down. They faked the pass and gave it to Lindsay, and he came right across the left side, across the 50 to the Concord 45. And the clock is not running. And now they stop the clock here. They stop the clock to move those chains on the far side. 1:49 to play.
I'll tell you what, they never started the clock on that play, Harvey.
I agree, they never started the
I'm
clock.
watching it.
And Lindsay gets the call again. Same play, left side. And the clock continues to roll. 1:36 and counting. 17 for Concord, 13 for Dover. And it's coming down to the final seconds. And a timeout for the Dover Green Wave, and we'll keep it here to set the stage. If Gardner has a final from Gill Stadium, please break in, Gardner, Memorial and West.
I don't have a final, Harvey. It's still 15-14 with just about 3 minutes left.
Okay, thanks a lot, buddy. And over here at Dunaway Field, Concord 17, Dover 13, 1:35 to play. And it's going to be a 2nd down for the Green Wave and about 7 from the Concord High 42-yard line. And at some point, Bruce, Dover's got to go deep here.
Oh, they really do, because time is running out quickly here on the Green Wave. What a huge 1st down run that was, though, on an obvious passing situation of 4th and 4. Talk about desire by one of the Dover kids. He just dove ahead and picked up about 2 yards without any portion of his body touching the ground as he just dove for that 1st down. He knew where he had to get to. He needed 4 yards. He picked up a total of 5 on the play.
Tim Lindsay, he didn't start the game. He's one of the alternate backs, but he's had a great game here. 2nd down for the Green Wave. Here they come, 1:35. The clock is stopped on the Green Wave timeout.
2nd and 8 from the Concord 43.
Lindsay is back in the fullback slot. It is an inside reverse, and Troop has the ball across the 40 to 35, down to the Concord 32-yard line. Inside reverse, pulled off by the flanker Aaron Troop, and it was a beauty.
And it is another 1st down for the Dover Green Wave. They're 11th of the ball game, but we're down to 1:26 left here in the game.
The clock is so important. Smith heads on,
running.
And Lindsay heads off. It looks like Lindsay hurt his wrist on the play.
They need
it's Troop. Troop heads off. He hurt his wrist. And the Dover medical staff attending to him. Ryan Demers flanked out on the right side. And it is a give, and that's going to be a motion penalty against the Green Wave.
Yes,
as Ryan Demers lined up on the wrong side, and he tried to go back to the regular side that he was supposed to be on for the play. And as soon as the officials threw the flag, and that stops the clock with 1:06 remaining. And that's probably a break for Dover in terms of stopping this Dunaway clock.
That's right. It's going to push them back to the 36-yard line if Concord elects to take the penalty right here. And they do not. They decline it.
And that cost Dover a loss. How about that by Jack Dratty? The ball's at the 28-yard line. And rather than move it back across the 30, Dover has to give up a play.
So it brings up a 2nd down and 7 now instead of a 1st and 15. Under a minute, 55 seconds left. The clock is moving.
All right. Lindsay is back there. Smith is back there. Split back. Back to pass is Zurich. He's going to go deep. He's got a man out in the end zone, and it is complete at the 5, at the 4, and out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Ryan Demers out of the backfield. The youngster that caused the penalty make there a long, complete pass, and the clock is stopped with 40 seconds to play. Dover High pulled one out against Memorial here early in the season. In the last minute of play, came from behind to defeat Memorial, and they're trying to do it here against the Crimson Tide. The ball is at the 5-yard line.
Pick up of 19 yards on that play, Harvey.
40 seconds from the 5. The Green, he's at the 3, he's at the 2, and he gets piled on by the Crimson Tide. 33 seconds left to go. Dover wants a timeout with 30 seconds, and they finally get it as 7 or 8 seconds ticked off the clock here. Bill Bushin heads onto that Dover huddle. 30 seconds left to play. The ball is at the Concord 2, and Concord High's season is represented by 2 yards of done-away real estate down there.
2 yards and 30 seconds. Boy, that's what's between them and a trip next week or turning in the uniforms.
I don't think Concord has time to allow a score and expect to get back and score themselves. But what is critical here is that a field goal would only tie it. Had Dover opted to go for the 1-point conversion instead of the 2,
Field goal is still leaving one.
that's right, I'm sorry. That 1 point could cost him, so he's got to go. He knows the field goal is no good. You're right.
17-13, 30 seconds left here in the game on a great night for football and one terrific football game. Dover with a long gainer of 19 yards rather. They are set up now with a 2nd and goal from the Concord yard line. Here we go.
Right, here we go from the Dover 2-yard line. Jason Carmy is back there. Lindsay is back there. Sirik, the quarterback. Inside handoff, fumble, Concord has it! Fumble at the 5, fumble at the 5, a fumble at the 5. Concord has the football at the 5-yard line. Oh my, and inside reverse, Aaron Toof had the ball, and he got drilled by Andy Milligan for 1 at the 5, and Concord has it with 26 seconds to go.
Dover has no timeouts left. I hear from the Concord coaching staff, which is up here in the booth right next to us.
Oh, the Concord High kids in that defensive huddle are hugging each other, high-fiving.
And they should.
And the Dover helmets, the offense, coming off the field and slamming their helmets to the ground here.
Clock is moving, 13 seconds.
And Concord doesn't even have to snap the football here, I do not believe. Or they could take a penalty half the distance to the goal line.
Stops with 6 seconds left, and it's going to be a delay.
Concord takes a timeout.
Timeout.
They run the clock down to 6 seconds, and then they take a timeout. And Jack Gaddy heads onto the field to talk to his defense. He's going to say, Ryan, take the snap, jump ahead, and fall down. And if there are any punch coming your way, just tuck your head under their helmet and stay out of trouble, because you know it's going to be a fierce Dover tackle on him right here.
That's right. Boy, I'll tell you, their only chance is to strip the ball and to run it in with 6 seconds left. And
when you think of the heartbreaking Portsmouth loss in the final seconds of play, the Concord High coaches up here in the booth are so excited right now. 1 snap of the ball, 6 seconds. A courageous and gutsy performance out of the Crimson kids. They had a great half against Spalding in a loss. They had a great game against Portsmouth in a loss. And you know what goes around comes around. They've hung in there, and they're on the verge of making the quarterfinals for the 6th year in a row here at Concord High. 1 snap. Everybody's right up behind McGonigal. 4 quarterbacks for Concord. The snap. McGonigal's down. Dover can't get it. It ticks off. Dover. Concord High has pulled it out with an outstanding defensive effort here in the second half. And they will go on to the state playoffs next weekend. Concord is so excited. They're not just high-fiving. They have a huge pile out on the field. It looks like one of those scenes you see in a hockey game after a tournament win. They are piled up out at their 40-yard line. A big pile of crimson and white shirt. Final seconds of play. 17-13 from the coast. An outstanding effort. And for Dover, their saga continues. After winning their first 6 of the season, they dropped their last 2. And how big was that altercation with Portsmouth to take them out of their rhythm? And now Dover is knocked out of 2nd place all the way down to 5th place. They will have to probably play Nashua next week in the quarterfinals. On the road is right. They'll have to go to Holman Stadium. Concord will probably be on the road to Spalding next week, and both teams are shaking hands down here. And you can see the Crimson Tide shaking hands, and then they can't wait to get together one more time, and they huddle up in the Dover end of the field, and they're trying to run into the locker room. Jack Gaddy is there, greeting each one of them come off the field. An unbelievable ending to a super night of high school football once again here on the coast. We were treated to a great game at Portsmouth. Never did I think it would be duplicated in the same year, and yet it was duplicated here tonight as Concord pulls it out 17-13, and they finished the season at 5-3. That not only breaks Dover's heart, but that breaks the hearts of 8 or 9 other teams across the state that were depending on a Concord High loss here tonight.
And, you know, on paper, probably Concord should have lost this game, but they didn't. That's the big thing. That's why they play the games on a field of green instead of a white or a yellow paper, as the case may be. 17-13, Concord coming out on top. And let's run down the scoring for you. Concord took the opening kickoff, marched 68 yards in 10 plays, 4 minutes and 43 seconds, and it was a 7-0 Concord lead with a 12-yard touchdown run over the right end by Ryan McGonigal. Point after touchdown by Garrett Stum was good, and as we mentioned, 7-0 Concord on top, and that's where the first quarter would end. In the Dover's second possession of the game, they took the ball on the punt play from their own 40, or from the Concord 40 rather. 9 plays later, they were into the end zone, 3 minutes and 53 seconds. It was a 4-yard touchdown run by Aaron Tuff, and a point after touchdown by Jason Tarmy. 7-7 was our score, and that was in the second quarter. Concord would come back to take a 10-7 halftime lead on a 30-yard field goal by Garrett Stum. 10-7 with the Crimson Tide leading, and that's where we were at the intermission. Dover would come right back on the ensuing kickoff of the second half. 73-yard touchdown run by Greg Smith. A 2-point conversion. Interesting call right there, which could have proved very, very big, and perhaps did in the scheme of things here toward the end of the ball game. The 2-point conversion failed, and it was 13-10 with Dover on top. And that was 29 yards, 6 plays, 35 yards for that. Concord would come back on a 14-yard touchdown run, 48 yards, 4 plays, a minute 55. Andy Milliken with a 14-yard touchdown run. The point after touchdown by Stum was good, and Concord had the big 4-point, 17-13 lead, and that's where we were after 3 quarters, and that's where we end the ball game, folks. There was no scoring in that very eventful fourth quarter. First downs in the ball game, we have 8 for Concord, 7 of them on the ground, 1 via the penalty route, and Ryan McGonigal went 0 for 3 for not 1 yard through the air in a pretty impressive show by Concord to win this football game, but not 1 yard did they pick up through the air tonight. And for Dover, 12 first downs, 8 of them on the ground, 3 of them through the air, 1 on the penalty. And we have the Dover throwing 5 for 10 for 78 yards unofficially, and a 17-13 win for Concord High School. And the Crimson Tide season will continue into the playoffs for how many years in a row now is this?
6, I believe.
Oh,
you know,
great.
Bruce, what is interesting about this rivalry, we addressed it in the pregame. Dover held a 29-16 lead in the series. It's now 29-17. But the last 5 meetings between these two schools, one on the other guy's field. Concord has beaten Dover 3 of the last 5, all over here at Dunaway Field. Dover's 2 wins have come back there at Memorial Field, so perhaps it was a blessing for Concord to be on the road tonight. And is that Tim Thompson down there?
I can't.
Going off on crutches.
It sure looks like it, doesn't it?
The lineman who was so instrumental, he hurt the knee, and you can see that left knee is wrapped up once again. And I do believe that's number 58, Tim Thompson, coming off the field with the trainer, Phil Baruti, and he's coming off on crutches. And he was so instrumental defensively tonight, and he must have re-injured that knee.
Yeah, there was 1 or 2 plays where I know that we called his number, the big 58, but doesn't look good right now. But this is just from the press box. He's not real happy about it.
There are several members of the Concord student body coming out and shaking Tim's hand and greeting him, and I'm sure that helps him through his pain as he goes on crutches up at the Dover High School. The other thing about this field, I'm sure when Jack Gaddy is sitting back and rocking in the old rocking chair in front of the fireplace and smoking his pipe and, recalling his high school coaching days. He's going to look back at this field with a lot of bittersweet, fond memories. His first 3 games over here as a young coach at Trinity, he endured losses of 3-0, a field goal against Dover in a Thanksgiving showdown before 6,000 fans. The next year he lost 7-6 over here, and the next year he lost 21-20 over here, all while he was the coach at Trinity. At Concord High, Jack is 3-2 against Dover, but now all that hurt is turned to a lot of happiness as Jack's first title here on this field when Concord beat Salem, and I'm sure you Concord fans will remember that day. It was 20 below zero over here at Dunaway Field, and Concord beat Salem over here, and now this. I'm sure this is going to rank right up there.
Is that the same thermos bottle you had with you that day?
I had to get a new one. The last one froze.
Yeah, I know.
It didn't work that day.
Yeah, exactly.
So we had to get a new one, and so the memories continue here, but the big thing is that the Concord High will make the playoffs. They did it on their own. They didn't get any help from anybody else, and now that sends all the other teams back scrambling, as there were 6 teams in contention for just 2 spots for next weekend, and Concord has grabbed one of those 2 spots. So the first 7 teams are set, and that leaves it to 5 teams for 1 spot. And
That's
wow,
right.
It's going to be a furious finish tomorrow.
No matter what happens tomorrow, Concord is in the playoffs 1 week from tomorrow.
And
we'll have it for you right here on WKXL.
You got to feel so badly for Dover because they were sailing along in a rebuilding situation, 6-0, and then the altercation with Portsmouth took them out of their concentration and their focus on football. They went over to Spalding, and they got beat pretty badly. They came back here, tried to get it together, and I thought the Dover kids were just as courageous out here on this football field as they marched all the way down to the Concord 2, and were within 30 seconds game out of the fire.
That's right. I was a little bit concerned right then. We have some stats for you to pass along. As we gave them to you from the first half, Concord had 93 yards on the ground, none through the air for 93 yards. As we mentioned, Dover had 52 yards rushing and 59 yards passing in the first half for a total of 111 yards. Second half, Concord still, as we said, not 1 inch passing through the air, 83 yards rushing for a total of 83 yards in the second half. Dover 52 yards, and their passing slacked off a little bit, but that one pass was a big one all the way down to set up the first and goal there with under a minute to play. It was a 22-yarder for a total of 74 yards total offense in the second half. Dover comes out on the stat sheet with 104 yards on the ground, 81 yards passing for a total of 185 yards total offense, all-purpose offense in the game. And Concord, on the other hand, 176 yards on the nothing through the air for 176 yards. So on the paper, I'd have to say that Dover wins the stat, but where the scoreboard counts the most, Concord wins the game 17-13. And we have tournament action for you next Saturday here on WKXL AM, and I'm have to look at the schedule to find out whether we're going to be on both AM and FM or just AM.
I hope our
think
FM
it's going to be
fans
just
are
FM.
enjoying these last 2 weeks of football.
I'm sure they have.
The standings, while Bruce tracks down our FM schedule for next week, Pinkerton is going to finish first. Spalding, if they beat Exeter, will finish second. Merrimack third. Nashua fourth. And now Dover is going to finish fifth. Trinity sixth. Concord seventh. And that final spot is up for grabs between Salem and Exeter. And one other team has a shot at it, right? Salem, Exeter for that last. Salem has to beat Londonderry, and they need Memorial to lose. Memorial was ahead of West late in the game, and when we send it back to the studio, Gardner Hill will probably have a final for you, everybody. Memorial was leading 15-14 late in that game at Gill Stadium. Memorial has to beat West, and then they needed Concord High to lose to be absolutely sure, but now they need Salem to lose tomorrow to Londonderry. Salem is heavily favored in that. Exeter has a shot at it. Exeter has a shot at it, but they have to beat Spalding. Good luck, Exeter. I don't see that happening.
Exactly. Well, next Saturday afternoon with the playoff game, we will be on WKXL AM. The FM side will have the Boston University UNH football game, big Yankee conference game for the Wildcats over at Cowell Stadium in Durham. And so we will be on the AM side. We'll have word for you through the week, next week, as to just who Concord will be playing, where the game will be. We know it'll be a road game, but we're not exactly sure. If you want to book a ticket to Rochester, that might not be a bad plan, Harvey.
Well, if you just joined us on the radio, Concord High did in fact pull this out over
Thank
here,
you.
17-13. McGonigal a 12-yard run, And Andy Milligan, a 14-yard run, and Garrett Stum, 2 extra point tries and a 30-yard field goal for Concord High's 17 points here, Coach. Just an outstanding effort defensively by the Crimson Tide, and the whole team seemed to have come together here at the right time, and they will be entering the playoffs. And if everything goes the way it should, and don't plan on that, everybody, but Concord will probably be in Rochester next Saturday afternoon against the Red Raiders. And if you remember Concord High's homecoming game against Spalding, they were down 20-0 at half and came out and outscored the Red Raiders 13-0 in what I thought was Concord's best half of football in the year, even including tonight in the Portsmouth effort. I thought the second half against Spalding was their best effort of the year.
I believe that Jack Gaddy said that at one point during the pregame interviews for one of the games subsequent to that Concord-Spalding game. We have a lot of action still to come your way this weekend here on WKXL. Tomorrow afternoon, big football game for the UNH Wildcats. They're on the road in Boston.